That probably has a little bit to do with the idea that that was somewhat created between us and the Center for Dairy Research. And what it really does is it turns around and it was blue has its limitations. The penicillium roqueforti in it, people sometimes have a, you know, don't really, they may like a mild blue, but they're not crazy about it. This one right here, you'll see, first of all, we have it in a slice today. And in the slice itself, it will melt very well. So it's a Monterey base in the background. But the blue in there, the penicillium roqueforti, has been encapsulated. So it won't travel. I could lay it on a cutting board of any kind or in a cheese package, laying next to a cheddar, and it won't cause mold in that cheese or in the cheese next to it. So that was kind of a unique thing. The other is that when it melts very well, it will melt over the top of a burger and supply a really nice flavor as it does when you're eating it. But it's going to be the, you know, people who may not even think they like blue still like this, just from the viewpoint that they may like a feta. If they like a feta, they'll probably like this because it's not going to come back and just jump at them. I mean, people who want to, you know, that are connoisseurs of Roquefort or that, it's mild for them. But people who don't know that they really like blue, but think they know they like feta, then this product will do very well for them.
One of the things, if you were going to make a black and blue burger, this might be too timid a blue flavor, in that, you know, you got the char in a burger, you've got a bun, you've got a lot of other flavors going on there. So for that blue to come through, you need a real blue cheese in a big blue flavor. But on the other side, if you just had a simple chicken sandwich that you wanted to have a unique cheese melted onto that sandwich, this could possibly be it, in that it'll pair well. It's got enough flavor to go with the chicken protein, but it also has the ability, which blue doesn't, of being able to melt very well. You know, when blue cheese, because it's very protein active, so to speak, breaks apart and oils off a little quicker than most any other cheese. This being Monterey Jack based, will deliver the blue, a light blue flavor, but it doesn't break apart. It melts just like a Monterey Jack. So from a cooking aspect, it does have some benefit or potential benefit over a traditional blue or Gorgonzola.
One of the things we've developed over the years, Michael, is the idea that a lot of these cheeses have to do with the idea that taking away from a Happy Meal at McDonald's or whatever, the kid, that's never going to go away, but the parent, the adult that's coming in there is looking for a more and more robust flavor. And so the idea here is that we can supply a robust flavor, reasonably robust, and yet in turn can supply portion control to a restaurant or somebody else who's looking to know how much it's going to cost them per burger. Because, I mean, undoubtedly, they have young people working for them. And so they know enough to put on one slice. Well, if they're putting on true crumbles, it gets to be tougher for them to gauge what they were supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it. So ultimately, our goal is to create flavors that can be melted on top of just about everything that we could imagine, whether it's a chicken, a steak, or whether it's a pasta or whatever it is. The idea for us is to make it so that it'll melt.
You know, when you talk about the blue, you nail the blue on here perfectly. This tastes just like a traditional blue cheese. The difference here is that you don't pick up that sour cream tang. You don't pick up that an extra saltiness that you get that I think would offend a lot of people that are first-time blue triers.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
It's got such a rich mildness to it, and I know that sounds weird, but it's just has a great flavor without being so bold and so in your face. I talk to people all the time about blues, and the people will tell you, I tried blue and I didn't like it. It's like I use the saying that imagine going into a produce department, picking up a vegetable and taking a bite and saying, I don't like vegetables. There's so many different blues, and this is such a great example of a blue that is so palatable and so easy. But what you also say about melting is that for those of us that have tried to do the blue burgers, is you put the blue on, and then less the time for it to cook the burger, the blue has basically been melted off the burger, where you can easily see that this is going to stay on the burger. It's going to fill, it's going to wrap around, it's going to give you a really beautiful look on top of that. So beer wise, I think pretty much anything will go with that. So in my thought was be cider, because I love ciders and blues and all that. And so Cigar City, they do this is an apple pie, tastes exactly like an apple pie. And so typically we use cheddars with apple pie, but this is absolutely fabulous with the cider, and a sweet cider is like that.
Yeah.
So I give you a lot of credit for creating this. So I have to ask personally. Okay, so I have this. I'm going to wrap it tight, and my expectation in the for life on this, couple weeks, 3 weeks.
Now that you've opened it and exposed it to oxygen like that, yeah, a couple weeks.
Okay.
It's going to react the same as you would expect from a Monterey,
Yeah,
And,
not like a blue.
but not like a blue.
Okay.
So it's no, it has its own characteristics. We when we were working with CDR and whatnot, and we developed this, it became something that we thought stood a good chance. So around the country, you'll see it in quite a number of different SKUs that it's used by a number of people. So that's where it's headed, and that's where it's done.
Good. Good.
We have a number of people, as we're saying, but you're saying about burgers, and we have a number of people that are shredding it up and using it on top of a pizza. So it adds that other flavor and brings a different profile to it. But we always have people trying to put everything onto a pizza, so we're pretty much used to it. So
Yep.